Although some claim that China has not had a big impact on Southeast Asia specifically, because of the relations with Vietnam and Cambodia being strengthened regularly and the constant pressure by the Chinese Navy in the South China Sea, the Chinese are in control of Southeast Asia in economics, military, and politics for many years to come. The Chinese were once behind the global superpowers in the world industry. Mao Zedong, the founder of the PRC, led the PRC to global power through its Great Leap Forward. The PRC, for which the ease of use for the rest of the video, will be called China. China became a powerhouse for manufacturing in the 2010s. China's economy skyrocketed and started to control Southeast Asia, though this would have not happened without communism. Because of communism, Mao Zedong was able to control the people and make them work to develop faster. If it was a democratic government, it wouldn't have worked as fast. Some background information on China on how they got to communism. China had its last dynasty with the Qing, and then Sun Yat-sen came to control the Republic of China, though they struggled to do a lot due to not being industrialized. Mao Zedong started a campaign to control China and went into civil war. Eventually, Mao came on top with communism, forcing the nationalists, the former Republic of China, to modern-day Taiwan. It took 5 years to establish communism fully and has ruled China in isolation for many years, even with the power change. And when I'm saying isolation, I mean the isolation that they keep from information hidden from what they do inside their borders and what they do with rules and politics. There are 3 reasons why China has controlled Southeast Asia for the last decade. In the world of global politics, China is working hard to build strong relationships with other countries, and one of its main focuses is Vietnam. They talk a lot and visit each other often, showing how close they are. China sees these alliances as important for its own power and to push back against the United States and NATO. China's political goals are deeply rooted in history, especially with a desire to become a powerful nation. This has been a big deal for China for a long time, dating back to the Opium Wars. These goals still drive Chinese politics today, shaping how they see themselves and their place in the world. China also wants to have a bigger say in global issues. They believe that they have the solutions that can help, and they want to make sure their ideas are heard. But sometimes sticking to their own ideas has caused problems, like during the Industrial Revolution. Still, China keeps pushing for its vision of stability and order on the world stage, even if it means some bumps along the way. There's a lot to talk about China's growing economic power in Southeast Asia. Li says because China's economy keeps getting stronger, it's only natural that it will start having a say in the world and the region. Even though China's economy has its ups and downs lately, it's still the second biggest economy, which is pretty impressive. Looking at real-life examples, China's been putting a ton of money into building stuffs in like Cambodia and Kenya. China's been going more into Cambodia. China's been teaming up with Cambodian officials to fund major infrastructure projects. It sounds like a good thing for Cambodia's economy, but some people wonder if China's just trying to show off more and gain control in the region. And then there's the whole trade situation. On the surface, it seems like China dominates trade in Southeast Asia via exports, but when you look at their imports, China just doesn't trade. It's kind of like China's way of saying, we don't rely on anyone else for stuff, but some worry this would make China vulnerable to changes in global trade, like how what happened with India during the Green Revolution and them trying to be purely sustainable off themselves. Militarily, China has asserted itself in the South China Sea, particularly evident in its handling of the Spratly Islands dispute. Marks a significant shift in the regional dynamics with far-reaching implications. The alteration of the Philippines' stance on the issue serves as a poignant example of Beijing's influence over smaller nations through the bilateral agreements and coercive tactics. In 2004, Manila's decision to enter the confidential agreement with China for joint resource exploration diverged from the multilateral approach championed by within ASEAN, raising the question about the Philippines' commitment to the regional cooperation and sovereignty. This strategic move by China effectively undermined collective efforts to address the dispute, signaling its way to sway the regional dynamics in favor for bilateral negotiations. China's coercion tactics in managing the Spratlys, despite having the Spratlys dispute have been notably assertive, with actions such as conducting naval exercises near disputed territories and firing upon Vietnamese fishing vessels since 2007. These maneuvers not only demonstrate China's willingness to assert its claims forcefully, but also as a warning to neighboring states about the consequences of opposing its interests. Furthermore, the suspension of the operation of the British petroleum-led consortium following the Chinese threats showcased the extent of which Beijing is willing to leverage its economic influence to achieve its strategic objectives in the region. Such coercive measures highlight the asymmetrical power dynamics at play and underscore the challenges faced by smaller nations in navigating their relationships with China. However, the assertiveness in the South China Sea extends beyond territorial disputes. It poses significant changes in the region's stability and security. The unilateral actions of China risk escalating tensions and destabilizing the delicate balance of power in the region, moreover by undermining principles of international law and maritime governments. China's assertiveness sets a dangerous precedent for future conflicts in the region. Addressing the South China Sea dispute requires a concentrated effort by the international community to help uphold the rule of law, promote dialogue, and facilitate peaceful resolution mechanics only through a multilateral approach that respects sovereignty and interests of all parties and can be involved in a lasting stability and security achieved in the South China Sea region. In conclusion, China's influence in the Southeast Asia and South China Sea is undeniable, spanning across politics, economics, and military affairs. Though proactive engagement with countries like Vietnam and Cambodia, coupled with a certain military maneuvers with the South China Sea, has solidified its dominance in the region. Economically, China's investments and export trade dominance reshape region dynamics. While this military posturing underscores its determination to assert control politically, China's pursuit of alliances and global influences further cements its position as Southeast Asia continues to navigate this complex relationship. Understanding China's role remains crucial for the region's stability.